So in this video, I'm going to be explaining why The Big Day by Chance the Rapper is a better album than To Pimp a Butterfly by Kendrick Lamar. So do you remember when To Pimp a Butterfly came out and everyone was calling it the greatest album ever because it was a concept album? Well, The Big Day is a concept album too. You know how in To Pimp a Butterfly, like between every song there's a poem, and then after every song a new line is added to the poem, and then that line like tells you what the next song is going to be about? Well, The Big Day is also a concept album because it's about his wife. And it starts off by him saying how much he loves his wife. And it goes on, and you have a few more songs of him saying that he loves his wife. Then you have Hot Shower, which isn't really about how much he loves his wife, but a bit of thematic variety is appreciated. Even on the best concept albums, there's thematic variety. Like from To Pimp a Butterfly, what does King Kunta have to do with anything? That song doesn't really have to do anything with like the narrative of the album. It doesn't really have anything to do with anything. Kendrick is just ranting about ghostwriters and stuff. Yeah. So why can't The Big Day have its own King Kunta? I see a lot of people criticize Hot Shower and say that it's like one of the worst songs ever. But in reality, all it is the album's King Kunta. It's just about as early in the album as King Kunta is too. And then you go back to the songs about loving his wife, and then that's pretty much the rest of the album. Hot Shower is like the only song that isn't about his wife. And the fact that every song except for Hot Shower is about his wife ties together the songs really well, and it makes it one of the most cohesive experiences and concept albums that exist. But the reason it's better than To Pimp a Butterfly is because there's no jazz. To Pimp a Butterfly, I don't know why it got so many amazing reviews when it came out, because nobody actually listens to jazz. Jazz is like for old people. Nobody listens to jazz. On The Big Day, there's like a bunch of features from like random artists, and like SWV, En Vogue, Randy Newman. Like, who expected those rappers to be on a Chance the Rapper album? And like the fact that they're on the album make the album so much better, because you'd never imagine that they could work on an album by Chance the Rapper, but they do. And another thing that's amazing about The Big Day is how there's genre fusions all over the album, but none of them are jazz. I Got You, Always and Forever takes some influence from 90s New Jack Swing, and it features En Vogue, who are like one of the pioneers of New Jack Swing. They had a lot of New Jack Swing hits in the 90s, and who doesn't like a good throwback to the 90s? People actually like to listen to New Jack Swing. People don't like listening to jazz. And then there's Ball and Flossin featuring Shawn Mendes, which is another unusual feature for the album, but he works super well. The hook that he makes in the song is basically radio fodder, and I don't know why that song was not blowing up on the radio, because it's basically perfect for the radio. And Ball and Flossin is a house song. People like listening to house. People don't like listening to jazz. To Pimp a Butterfly had a lot of genre experimentation, but it was all with genres no one listens to. Jazz is for old people. Funk is for people that think they're smarter than everyone else. Soul is for people that like Jesus or something. I don't know. But The Big Day, there's house, there's New Jack Swing, there's trap. Of course, everyone likes listening to trap. I mean, it's the big new thing. And it's better than Acid Rap and Coloring Book too, because Acid Rap and Coloring Book were not concept albums. Sure, like you could kind of like get themes from the album, like how Acid Rap was about drugs and how Coloring Book was about Jesus, but The Big Day is about his wife, and every song is about his wife. There's not one song, except for maybe Hot Shower, that isn't about his wife. And it's just a great album. There's a lot of sonic variety, there's a lot of topical cohesion, and the features all do a great job. It's a star-studded album, and they all do their best, especially Randy Newman on 5-Year Plan. I really liked it when he sounded like a dying old man. It was really good. And again, the genre fusions just work perfectly, because like literally there's no reason for the genre fusions to even exist. Like Ball and Flossin starts, and you're like, why is there a house song on this album? And like I Got You starts, and you're like, why is there a New Jack Swing song on the album? But sometimes unpredictability is a virtue, and The Big Day uses that to its advantage. The Big Day is just a really good album. I don't know what to say. Chance the Rapper's very happy. He loves his wife. Why do you not want him to love his wife? Why don't people want him to love his wife? Loving your wife is like one of the most sweet things. So why do people not like The Big Day? I don't get it. It's such a good album about his wife. It's better than To Pimp a Butterfly. It's a concept. It's everything that To Pimp a Butterfly is, but more. There's genre fusions. It's a concept album. There's a lot of like unexpected features. Like no one expected Snoop Dogg or Ronald Isley to be on To Pimp a Butterfly, but Ronald Isley, people like that, like nobody listens to that kind of music anymore. People from The Big Day, he only chose the newest, most relevant artists like SWV and Vogue. Like they're like people listen to their stuff all the time. They were huge in the 90s. Yeah, I just don't understand why people don't like The Big Day. Chance the Rapper's a lyrical genius too. Like at the beginning of Let's Go on the Run, where he says, "Hey there, lovely sister, won't you come home to your mister? I got plans to hug and kiss ya." It's one of the most straightforward and poignant declarations of love that I've ever heard on any song ever, and it's just really good. I don't know what to say. The Big Day, people hate it for no reason. I don't know why. When it's easily better than To Pimp a Butterfly. To Pimp a Butterfly put me to sleep with its 80 minutes, but The Big Day is also 80 minutes long, and it uses it to its advantage. But that's another similarity it has to Pimp a Butterfly, but it's also better than To Pimp a Butterfly because it doesn't get boring throughout its 80 minutes, because there's no jazz, because Chance the Rapper knows nobody listens to jazz. And yes, I know that there are slight jazz elements on We Go High, but I'm going to choose to ignore that.